the edge, a million different right words. I find all those other words to be cousins of fear.
I fear that I've found calm. And without fear, there's nothing pushing me forward.
Anyone who's in a situation where fear should be prevalent, where fear is actually necessary to survive the situation, anyone who says that they're not afraid, they're one of two things. They're either a liar, or they should go to a doctor, find out what the frick's wrong with them.
Fear can cloud your judgment, fill your mind with hatred. Fear does have a function, but can also leave you naked. The cucumber strapped on represents a penis. Fear can give you a focus, focus gives direction, direction gives a meaning, meaning gives you joy. The driver of anxiety was the idea of his achievements. He feared he wouldn't be what he wanted to become. Nobody wants to live in fear, but there are certainly multiple life paths you could go down that you should be fearful of. Therefore, fear is a good tool and function to give you a focal point on where to direct your life. Because without fear, there is no direction away from insanity.
Hey man, yeah, nothing to worry about. We've just been reviewing the clips and you seem a bit like a psycho, so just,
The utility of fear. Fear is a useful tool. Let's say you're being attacked by a cougar. Haha, cheeky. No, not that sort of cougar. A real wildlife cougar. The feeling of fear would play a crucial role in your survival. So fear is necessary. Fear, when embodied, can help have a positive function. However, cultivating fear externally only brings the worst. Propaganda, panic, gaslighting, nihilism. All this comes from the projection of fear. This is the one thing to look out for. Fear-mongering in society is used to control. In the wild, a predator would instill fear into its prey, helping to control population size and maintain a balanced ecosystem. This natural regulation is essential for the health and stability of ecosystems by preventing overpopulation of certain species. Fear is a function of control. But what if the same is happening to us? Not with limits on our population, but limits on personal growth. What societal fears are selling us the illusion of our limits? Fear controls the narrative in order to control the actions. What narrative have you been given? This is doomsday, or is this heaven on earth? I'm sure, in the past, there has been a lot more and a lot worse to fear. I'd say, don't fall for the first. Don't lack courage. Don't fall prey to the notion that you're hopeless in the face of change. Think, what do I fear? Then ask, what fears do I have control over? You probably won't have the individual solutions to the current horrors of war, or the policies to perfectly place against the lack of progress within government, but the fears you do have control over, the fears that are embedded within you, they might just be the very clues needed for progressing towards a loving future. And not because introspecting on these fears will give you solutions, but instead will create understanding where there used to be confusion. And in this knowledge, we gain our courage. And I get it. Why focus on fear when life is hard enough? But if you lend an ear to the wallow in tears, you realize that gratitude is love. Fear eats the soul. That's a great movie by Fassbinder, made in 1974, a West German drama film. Fear will kill us all. War works when fear is so embedded in the landscape that no one has time to be focused on the fear that they embody, and then naturally the fear that they give out to the world. To say it in other terms, a parent will exaggerate the dangers of strangers to protect their child, but it's those same strangers that will save the kid from drowning in the pool while the mums are flirting with the lifeguard by the eco-friendly water fountain that purifies the water you drink before you piss it back into the swimming pool. That same very pool your kid nearly drowned in. But his life was saved by the very idea you told him to fear.
I beg you just find a tone and stick with it, like just make something consistent and easy to follow.
Jonathan Glazer, when presenting his latest film in London, Zone of Interest, finished his speech with the following: if we rid ourselves of the violence within our hearts, then surely we'll naturally end the violence within the world. So we should rid ourselves of our fear, right? Violence comes from fear. Well, just like Nina Simone says,
I'll tell you what freedom is to me. No fear. I mean, really, no fear. If I could have that half of my life, no fear. Lots of children have no fear. That's the closest way, that's the only way I can describe it. That's not all of it, but it is something to really, really feel.
But no, I can't say to get rid of fear, because there will always be something unknown, and lacking fear won't make you free when fear gives you the function to grow. If you don't fear death, what do you make of life? Really, tell me what makes it so. I fear that I found calm, because in this calm, I don't feel I have the knowledge that my fears once granted me. Without fear, I can't have the awareness of all of time. I can't protect my future self, because I don't have a heightened sense of awareness that extends beyond my primary needs, beyond today, beyond this idea of peace. I fear I'll waste this moment, and I'll certainly waste this calm, because what's worse than a fear of failure? Having nothing to fear. What's worse than global tragedy? Being consumed in pointless tears. So you're simply saying that we need fear in order to survive? No, I'm just saying I think you need fear in order to help you thrive. Because when there's no positive emotion to work off and greatness is still the goal, what else are you going to use?
Fear causes a lot of things in life. It causes a lot of problems. And it also solves a lot of problems. Without it, we couldn't be great. If we are great, if we ever have a chance to be great, or at least to aspire to be great.
How does fear connect to greatness? That's a profound statement. Without fear, we wouldn't be able